Hello, sir. How are you?
Good. How's it going, man? How's it
Good.
going?
How are you? Going
Thanks.
going well. It's what is it? Wednesday evening.
Yes.
Wednesday evening. I'm talking to Russ Lawton from the band Soule Monde, and probably better known for your work in the Trey the Trey as a I can't say the last name of her Anastasio Band.
Anastasio. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I've been playing with
So
Trey a long time.
yeah. So we'll get into all that. Welcome to the show, the Popko Project Podcast. And we're here to talk about you and everything you're involved in. Specifically, this Saturday, you're going to be at the River Street Jazz Cafe in
Yeah.
Plains, PA, and Ben Travers, who I guess booked you guys at the Jazz Cafe,
Yeah. Yes.
hooked us up. So shout out to Ben and thanks for setting this up. I'm glad we were able to do it. It's kind of last second here, and we had some scheduling conflicts, but we're doing it, so that's cool.
Yes. Thank you.
So yeah, so welcome. Like I said, we'll talk about the pertinent information first. We got a show on Saturday, May 6th, Jazz Cafe. The show starts at 10. There's a private party earlier on that evening, so the Jazz Cafe will be opening, I believe, 9:30. Show
Yeah.
starts at 10 Saturday night, which is a little bit of later opening, but like I said, there's that party. But talk to me about this project and what people can expect.
Well, it's the old funky word. There's a lot of we write a lot of these songs starting with the groove sometime, whatever. So, and Ray and I got some really good chemistry. So it may be like a little Afrobeat thing, a funk thing. It's a couple of South African style songs, and then improvise, but really there's some songs there we have worked hard on to, have them come to light, and then from there we just have some fun with them. And Ray plays left hand bass, and he plays the organ, clavinet, and the whirly piano, and I just play the drums. No,
Just the drums, right? Okay.
yeah, but yeah, it's something we've been doing for a long time. I mean, it started as a fun thing. We live close to each other. Obviously, we're on the road with Trey, and like when we're home, I was like, hey, there's this little club that's got a Hammond B3 in it. Let's go up there and make some noise one night. And then the guy just, at the end of the night, the guy was like, had the calendar open. Hey, let's do this once a month. So it was really like a fun thing. We went in with like minimal material, and we just sort of, what do you got? Make up a beat. And we just improvised. And then it just turned into songs, and did some home recording. And here we are. We're still doing it like many years later. And it's cool.
Yeah. How long has this project been a thing?
Actually, 2008. We
Also, a
started it.
while. It's been a while.
Yeah, but I mean, it was like I've been in original bands most of my life, and it's like we're starting this band, we're moving to LA, we're moving to Boston. Like it was kind of like, yeah, we got a million things going on. Let's just do it once a month. Then it turned into twice a month. Then it turned into like we had 10 songs. We went in the studio. It was like a very like organic kind of thing. It wasn't like we were thinking, it was gonna whatever. We had no, we had some goals, but in a way we didn't. It was just like we just happened to put it on the calendar, and I was in 3 different things at that point. So was he. So it was like, hold a couple of dates and go for it. And it's cool when it happens like that.
I always find it fascinating when the musicians it's like they get bored. They're already like in a full-time project. Their dates are full, but they always find room for like another project or two outside of that. It's quite fascinating to me.
Yeah, it's fun because for years I was a dedicated band guy, and I still am with Ray. But I was only like one band and rehearsing all the time. Like I say, it's like your life goal is to get this band, put this band on the map. So we did this. It was a more years of experience behind it. So then you realize that's sometimes one of the things you miss is playing with other people and gaining that experience, and
Yeah. So this duo, it's just basically instrumental, correct?
Yes,
There's
it's
no
instrumental.
vocals, it's kind of
No,
just
yeah.
what would you call it? I mean, I don't want to say jam, but is it jam bandish? Or what is it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of that in that, but it's definitely rooted in a little like I said, we're drawing like, and know what it's like. It's like I come from like the songwriting school, arrangements, and Ray's from the total improv. He'll improv all night and do it great, and we kind of meet in the middle. I'll be like, let's tighten this up. And he'll be like, let's stretch it out, So it's like, I'm thinking about arrangements and like, oh, maybe like cut that chorus in half or do something like that. So we kind of meet in the middle, and it's pretty cool, actually, So I'm thinking about, get people, whatever, even the people on the dance floor or whatever, I mean, it's not always going to be that kind of stuff, but you're trying to,
Yeah, I listened to some of your tunes over the past week or so, and I feel like you're definitely gonna have a great audience at the Jazz Cafe. A lot of dancing, a lot of good vibes, and good times.
Yeah, I've played there a bunch of times I used to play with this guy Gordon Stone,
Yeah,
and I remember, and we used to always have some really great shows there. I'm really looking forward to going back. It's been quite a while since
I was
we
gonna
played
ask you,
there.
when's the last time you were in town?
I can't remember. I was trying to think of that. I was there with Ray. God, maybe 5-6 years ago. It's been a while because the COVID thing too. So even long. I don't know. It's not. I was just thinking a while back that we hadn't been there in a long time, but
Yeah, COVID was a fun thing, huh?
oh God, I was just talking to my wife. It's just like, I teach at this school. I remember like there was like March, like they're shutting it down. I was like, what's going? When I knew that was something's going to happen, and I just started up there like this semester, and I hadn't been in my studio room in 3 years.
Yeah.
It was like, it's like, wow, I'm back in there. Like, wow, it felt so good to be back.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy today that I haven't seen in probably 3 years. And we're just talking about how it was such just like a time suck,
Yeah.
and it's just like it was 2-3 years. I mean, we're 3 years removed from it now, but that time just feels like I don't even know where it went, or I can't remember most of it because you never knew what was if you were coming or going or what was happening.
Yeah, it was a lot of time practicing at home for me. And then I can remember Ray and I had a show in the city in New York. It was like February. We had one show up here, and then that was it. It was like, it's just, all of a sudden we're like trading files back and forth, trying to write a new record,
Yeah, thank God for the internet, huh?
Yeah, really, really, really was really good. Gave me something to work on,
Yeah. Yeah, I talked to a lot of musicians, and I'm always like, for the longest time, I was worried about how that they would kind of function, right? I mean, obviously you just mentioned you can record at home, you can play at home, but like so much of being a musician is, playing out at shows and getting that,
yeah,
reciprocation from the crowd and just having that life that you've led for so long, right? Like basically
yeah.
taken from you. I mean, I mean, for you, what was that like?
It was pretty strange, but I just sort of accepted it and just practiced a lot and write. And I did, as things kind of calmed down a little bit, I was definitely going in the studio with people once we knew we could go in with masks or whatever. So I did a lot of sessions in COVID. It was kind of interesting. Not the first, maybe by the summer of that first, whatever year that was. Was that be 20? Or
You
yeah,
can't remember, right?
yeah. It's like, I mean, what did I do that summer? But then we did in the fall. We did the Beacon Jams all the months of October and November, and that really kept me occupied too. We go to the city, staying at a hotel with nobody else in the hotel, barely in the hotel. I bring my own food. I had a kitchen, and yeah, it was just very we did it for like 2 months. A new set list every week, so it was, it kept you busy.
Yeah.
And
what was that like for you as somebody who, I mean, you've been around for a long time. You've had a lot of experience. Like, I mean, were you worried that might be it? Like,
what do you mean with the COVID thing?
yeah, like I mean, like no, we
Yeah.
didn't know anything. Like we didn't know if is this like is live music going to come back? Like is life going to return as we know it? And I guess the answer to that is no. It's it's definitely different than it was before COVID. But I mean, as a guy that's traveled the world and just been at it for a long time, was that like worrisome for you?
I wasn't I wasn't too worried. I thought it was going to come back. I kind of think positive,
Yeah.
but I do know there was a gap, a pretty big gap, but yeah, I mean, luckily, I'll tell you, for me, luckily there was like, I got collected unemployment for the first time in my life.
Yeah, how about it?
And then I got some music cares and some other grants that they were giving out, and like BMI or whatever. I forget. I got a bunch of those that really helped too.
Yeah.
But I thought it was going to come back. I forget. Ray and I did our first show. Was it? I think it was May of what? I can't even remember now. It's like if it was 20 or 21, but we played the show outside. It was like a pretty big deal. It's like as Ray said, we could have played Mary Had a Little Lamb and they would have liked it. You know what I mean? It was pretty pretty encouraging. But I thought it was going to come back.
Yeah.
I
It was cool seeing
positive.
Yeah, it was cool seeing like just people like so hungry for entertainment and live music. Especially when it was taken away. And it's, I guess that old saying is true. You don't know what you have till it's gone, right? So yeah, it was kind of cool, and I hope that people kind of like learn to appreciate that. Now that we can go back out and do these things and go to shows and support musicians, and not only the big guys, but also the ones starting out too.
Yeah. I mean, I know you really appreciate it, myself included, seeing music and going out and playing with people. And we do these little shows around Vermont or whatever, some little clubs, which I love doing, and it's really important,
And you guys are from Vermont, right?
Yeah, I'm not from Vermont originally.
So that's where you are now.
But that's where I am. Yeah, but this is my third time living here. I've moved away and come back a bunch of times. So yeah, I've been back for quite a long time, about 17 years now.
Oh wow.
But I was down on the Boston scene for a long time.
I was hoping you were going to say that. That's my favorite city. I go there every year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, me and the guys take a trip with Paulson Tours up to Boston for St. Patty's Day weekend.
Oh wow!
Just the guys, and we have a good time. I love that city.
Man, yeah, it's I lived up in Salem. That's where my wife and I lived there. But yeah, that's how I kind of got my musical career. I was living on Cape Cod, and I knew I had to get out of there. It was kind of a seasonal place and tourist, and I moved up to Boston when I was like 20 to dive into being a full-time musician. And I was in bands on the Cape too, but that was the start,
Yeah.
And there was a big scene there, and there still is. I mean, that's why we moved there. I lived in LA for a while too with this other band, but I thought that was a good happy medium because it's a band town, and there was a lot of bands. I can remember going back there, and there was this like magazine called the Boston Phoenix. It's like a art paper, and opening up this thing called the Band Guide. It was like listing every band in Boston. It was like, I think 10,000 bands or something. I mean, who knows how good or how many, whatever. I was like, oh my God, here we go. Back at it,
Yeah.
Playing shows in the city, it's great.
And you've been with Trey for what? Over 20 years?
Yeah, we did our first show at that Club Higher Ground in 98, and we did our first tour in 99. And then from there, we've done stuff. We had a little hiatus thing when Fish didn't play too, and then he had a little different band for a while. But my heart was there even when I wasn't playing. He was doing his thing. But it's been like 25 years. It's amazing.
Yeah, what's that like?
It's great. I mean, I'm a band guy, so like for me, it's like you show up. And get your music together, man. And I love all the music we play. It's not like I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do another, I'll do it, But I love all those songs and what we do in the band and all the people in it, and it's been all my friends. It's cool.
Yeah, is that like your favorite genre?
Yes, well, yeah, it is my favorite genre, definitely. Even like it carries over to Ray and I. I mean, I was fortunate enough to put my stamp on some of those early songs. So my groove and style is in there, and I'm definitely, yeah. I like that, like the funky rock or whatever you want to call it. I played like an Afrobeat band. That's how I came to Vermont, oddly enough, of all places. But one thing leads to another. People end up. We used to play a lot in Pennsylvania, actually, Allentown, Easton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, back in the long time ago, and there was there was definitely an original scene going on there. I remember some of the bands were getting signed out of Allentown and stuff. People like their music there.
Yeah, I feel like, Allentown, and we're a little bit north, I guess you could say, from Allentown, or is it north or maybe west, northwest? I forget. Kind of, I'm not good with geography, as you could tell. But yeah, like that area and like our little neck of the woods here, I feel like there's definitely like this kind of corner of the state, I guess you could say, is very rich in with talent.
Yes, yeah, that's the guitar player I play with. He was from Bethlehem, and that's
Yeah.
kind of how we got tapped into that scene because he was from that, from there. So yeah, a lot of fun memories of playing it there because we do like a tri-state thing, like
Hmm.
Jersey, Pennsylvania, and play in New York City. And it's all like 2 hours or whatever. It's not that far from each other.
Right. Yeah,
Pretty
exactly.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
What are some highlights of your career? Like I said, not we talked via email earlier. I told you I was kind of unprepared for this evening, but I guess that's kind of good. I like to kind of learn, I guess you could say. So like what are some highlights of your career? I mean, whether it's with Trey or just your musical career in general.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously the trade thing really puts you on the map, and just he was very established when I started playing with him. So you're going from riding in the van to riding in the tour bus, and playing this great music. And like I said, bringing in some of my ideas that made it to songs that he wrote with those grooves in mind, which was really wonderful. And somebody that would give back and give you the credit for bringing in ideas and stuff. But before that, I mean, I had been in original bands for like 20 years. I mean, probably I remember even like I was I was living in Boston, and the original scene wasn't quite happening as well as it did once the punk thing kicked in. I'm talking like the 70s, mid 70s. So I moved up to Woodstock, New York, to go to this place called the Creative Music Studios. It was a school there, and I didn't go right away. I just got a job, and I worked at this place called the Beer Cafe, which was owned by Albert Grossman, who was Bob Dylan's manager. So I don't know if you ever read that. There's a book, Robert Robinson's book. He talks all about that. That he was their manager. So I was in the washing dishes at this restaurant with all these famous musicians every night. I would see as a 21-year-old impressionable kid. I really it was like going to school already because you just see like, oh, this Paul Butterfield, oh, this like Levon Helm, or whatever, all
Mhm.
these people, and then really learning how not to act sometimes.
Of course.
Or like you have the restaurant meetings, and it's like, all right, no rock stars after 12:30 just because they're like, I was like, whoa. Whatever it is. And just by they would like, well, you show up at a gig and like that's like Harvey Brooks from like Bob Dylan's band. It's like they would just everybody. I learned like how everybody would just play with each other, or there's this little club called the Joyous Lake, and every night there'd be some great music and people would just be there. It was just this rich musical community in this small little town. It was like really amazing for me,
Yeah.
and then from there, so being from Mass, but you didn't really quite have that. This is like 2 hours from New York City, so it's the next like a New York City level, you know, kind of up from that. But from there, I was into this band Osabisa, and they were from London, and I got a call from my singer friend I met in Boston, who was in Vermont going to school, and he met the percussionist from that band, and they were looking for a drummer, and he just happened. His wife was from Vermont, so he was living up here, and I got that gig, and that like changed my life. Moving to Vermont, number one, and playing that Afro style music, and we ended up moving to LA, but that was like the music was still it's still with me, and I draw from that music a lot. It definitely changed my style of playing, and it was really really pretty amazing. I still
Yeah.
think about it. It was a long time ago. Matter of fact, Ray and I are doing a show where we all lived. We lived at this big farmhouse in Heinsberg, and they had a barn in the back. It was a cow barn. The cow barn burnt down years ago. We were on tour. We came back, the place is gutted, and now they rebuilt it, and now we're going to do a show there. So it's kind of like Memorial Day weekend. So for me, that's the first time I came to Vermont, and it was pretty special. So I still keep in touch.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, I mean, is this where you thought your life would be? Like as a young Russ, like, I mean, like, did you Is this like where you wanted to be, or did this like just like you kind of put the time in and things kind of fell into the place? Like I always find that fascinating. Like people how they where they land, right, and how they
Yeah,
sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. So you meet the right person, the right place, right time, right? But I mean, like, is this like when you were a young kid? Like, is this where you thought your life would be?
yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know. I remember thinking in high school, like, we're gonna get a van, we're gonna tour. And then with the guitar player whose dad was a musician, he's like, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, my dad won't let me because he was like, duh, don't do it.
Yeah.
So I went blindly in, man, because I just passionately wanted to do it. When I found the passion to do it, there was no stopping. And I was always looking for a creative thing. Like back in the days when I was younger, you could get like in a top 40 band and make money, kind of what the tribute bands are now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could in Boston, you could get with this agency, they'll get you on the road 6 nights. I remember going up to New Hampshire playing 2 weeks at a ski lodge. You're staying in the band house. Like that was like get my feet wet. But I was, when I joined that Zebra African band, that was exactly what I wanted to do. And I was 21 when I joined that band, 22. And then, so that's, you get that goal, you get that vision. I mean, and then for a long time when I moved to Boston, we had a band and we decided not to do all the little crappy gigs. And I bartended for like 20 years. Was a waiter. But it's flexible. So if you had a tour or something, you can get out of it. Or like, but I figured out it'd be good to make money doing something else too. Because you got to be a creative musician or whatever, So, I mean, I don't know. I at that point I was just like, whatever it's going to take to make it happen, I'm going to try to do it. And just to be creative, we rehearse a lot, made good recordings, and a lot of record people interested, and a lot of people talking to us, and it's just a hard business. I was hearing a podcast the other day. That guy, Aaron, what's his name, Aaron Dresser from the National, talking about it's talent, persistence, and luck.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought that too. It's like I got that 22-year-old, I got that gig, and it really changed my life. I mean, it never really. We got a lot of label interest in LA, but it never quite. Whatever. I'd keep going, start another band, and the same thing happens, and whatever. It's the path you take. So by the time I started playing with Trey, he said, well, I kind of knew what to do. I was doing the creative thing for so long. I could put my 2 cents in and not have a question mark like, well, what do you mean? What do you want? What do you mean write a song? Well, I don't know,
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm answering that question. But I just knew that it'd be in the creative path. Even now, if everything fell apart tomorrow, I would start some other project or get involved.
Yeah.
Big or small. We do this little gig once a month on Wednesdays, a couple towns up, and you walk out of there like I did my 5-6 songs. We all like a collaborative thing, and that's what's wrong with that, It's nice if you could get it to some other level, but you still it's when you're not being creative, that's the problem.
Right.
Just giving up and sitting home watching TV and just playing some cover band on the weekends,
Yeah, I mean, what kind of advice? I mean, obviously the industry is completely different today than it was when, you started out. Is there any kind of advice that you could give a young musician as to like what he or she could do to kind of, follow a path to like a framework for success, or, just, compared to your experience as a young man back then and how things are now?
Yeah, I mean, for me or whatever, like I said, I was always like a band guy. I know sometimes people now, or if they're like these pretty heavy musicians, they're looking for that big gig. Like if you go to Nashville, you want to get in a band, whoever, backing up whoever, or LA, but I would, you just put it out there, and if you write now with the internet, as much as it's streams don't pay or anything, but at the same time, you're getting music out there to the world.
Yeah.
Put stuff out, keep chipping away. Keep practicing. I practice all the time. I practice every day, except maybe Sundays. My wife is under, but tomorrow morning I'll be waking up. I'll be hitting it. Ray and I got those gigs that we got 2 new songs. I'm gonna make sure show up and making them feel good. So just keep doing it, being active, and if get record, put it out there. Meet people. And you never know who you're gonna meet. Like how I got to Vermont, because I met a singer in Boston. If I didn't move to Boston, I never would have came to Vermont or whatever. It's like, and
Yeah,
then the original bass player who passed away, Tony, he used to come see our band Zebra, and he really liked my drumming, and that's how I got the Trey gig. So it's like you just putting it out there, and it's all like not trying to hustle a gig. We're all just became friends, or you find people that you can connect with.
yeah.
And I got that call to play with Trey is because of Tony, and it's like, wow, changed my life.
Yeah, I say in this podcast a lot, like, it only takes one. It only takes one person to hear or see you play, or the right person to bump into. It's just like it only takes one. And that's what's cool about the internet. I mean, is like frustrating as it kind of is, because it's so diluted, and it's a lot of noise, right? Especially with streaming and on Spotify and all those things. Like you said, it's very much it helps you get your music out there. And I think what's cool about how it is now is if you put a song out and it's not received well, you can go right back to the drawing board, create again, and then get something else new out there, as opposed to, a new record every 2 years or whatever it might be. So
yeah. I mean, and now people like the vinyl too. So you get it out there on that, and then you start gaining a little bit of following, and you get the people liking your, and those are the real music fans, which is cool. Because because Spotify and all that's great, but it's overwhelming. I remember I did a little record store, the Record Exchange in Salem, and let's go to the Record Exchange. I got a couple of kids, but go on the Record Exchange. And you get that album, you're gonna play it, you're gonna put it on. It's cool. It's a little more focused now. It's just like overwhelming,
Yeah, I do miss that.
Yeah, I still go there when I go back. Go back and visit, kind of like, but it's, I don't know what else I was gonna say, but yeah, it's just you got to keep doing it. But I just want to do it. You got to the work ethic or whatever. It's, if you don't want to do it, that's cool. What is that guy Alan Alda, the actor, talked about that? If you really want to do it, be an actor or whatever, you're gonna do it. It takes a lot of work. Like even when I was a bartender, I'd wake up, practice for 2-3 hours, make some food, and go to work till 2 in the morning. It's a long day. But if you want it, I didn't turn on the TV knowing that I had to go to work at 5 o'clock or something.
Right.
Just work at it.
Yeah.
You can waste a lot of time too if you don't.
Yeah. Well, and there's, I think, nowadays too, there's so many distractions as opposed to what was, around 20 years ago, even like, I mean, social media is I mean, I'm guilty of it too. Like I spend way too much time. I was on a website today that like kind of like calculates, if you put in like the amount of screen time you have per day, it'll calculate how many years of your life or how much time of your life will be spent, looking at a screen.
Wow.
For your remaining days. And I saw that today, and I was like, wow, that's a lot of time. It's kind of like eye-opening and disturbing to a degree.
Yeah. It can be.
But yeah, so many distractions these days.
Yeah, there's a lot more. I try to stay away from them. I mean, I do think, because like with Facebook and stuff and Instagram, as a musician, you can get the word out. Whereas years ago, we'd be writing postcards and sending them in the mail on mailing lists back when they were really mailing lists. So I appreciate it like that. But you got to watch out though. Yeah. Because you could be practicing and like, what came in on the phone,
Yeah.
Looking
Ding.
up, like, no. Yeah. Nope. Keep practicing. And then when you get a break or something, but it's nice because some people that I used to know, you find them again and keep in touch. It's pretty cool too. I try to look at the positive things of it.
Yeah. It's a blessing and a curse. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
We talked about COVID earlier. I don't know how we would have got by if we didn't have the internet. I mean, we used our phones and the internet to like order groceries to have delivered to our homes because you couldn't go out. Like, imagine if we didn't have the internet like during that time. Like, what happened? Blessing and a curse.
Yeah, it is a blessing and a curse. I try to stick at the positive, but not look at it too much.
Yeah.
Try to have the New York, the New York Times on my iPad and go to that instead or whatever. But but yeah, it's whatever, man. I don't know. It's a funny time, but just gonna keep at it. God, I don't know. I think about it sometimes. A lot of years have gone by. I'm like, wow. But I'm doing shows and people still hire me and and you're doing it and just being a good person too. And I think back, sometimes like, playing with some people could be tough or something. Other people that's just our social life. Or I would say people that I played with over the years, they're still my friends. They could knock on my door at 3 a.m, like, yeah, man, I'm having a tough time. I'm like, get it,
Yep.
They're like army buddies. I didn't have to go in the service. So they're like my army buddies,
Right. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, listen, two more things I want to talk about. Let you go. I know it's getting late. You got stuff to do tomorrow. You got practice, and you got the show on Saturday. You mentioned you're working on 2 new songs, but you also released earlier this year a new record, the Relics Sessions.
Yes, the live Relics.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about that real quick.
Well, that was pretty cool because that was like our first run back from the COVID. So we went to New York and we went in that studio, and we had recorded a new record too. So some of those songs on the record were from our studio record that we had done. So it was pretty good to be out in the world again,
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty inspiring. And I thought they did a great job with that, recording it and mixing it. And it's just, really represents what we do as a live band, and then we never really, we released a few little things live, but that was like, really represents us. Yeah. It's cool.
And as far as, what people can expect on Saturday, again, Saturday, River Street Jazz Cafe in Plains. You can get tickets right now at the riverstreetjazzcafe.com, I believe it is. But what can people expect from your show on Saturday?
Yeah, we're going to do a couple sets. We're going to play stuff from the last record, and we mixed all the records that we have, like 3 or 4 records that we have, and got a couple new ones for you. And we always stretch it out and have fun, keep it funky, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We're always excited to play.
Keep it funky. I like that.
Yeah, keep it funky. And then I always like going back. Pennsylvania has a little soft spot from back when I first started touring as a kid, and not that I don't think we played Plains back there with Zebra, but it's just good to be back there. I know some people that are from there, like Cabinet, those guys.
Yeah.
Like Pappy lives in Vermont. He's a good friend of ours. Yep. We love Pappy, and there's a couple of other guys and that from around that area. So, I always think of those guys too. And it's going to be a good show. We're looking forward to it. We're playing Friday night outside of Boston, actually.
Oh, nice.
Newburyport, as we say.
Okay.
And then, so we got a little run, a couple of days.
That's nice.
And then, we're looking forward to it. Yeah, it's been a long time since
I mean, that the Jazz Cafe is like, you guys obviously fit in quite well there. So I expect that to be a great show for you guys, and
thank you. Yeah,
obviously welcomed back with open arms.
Yeah, be fun. I think I played there that time with Ray, and before that I played with I used to play in that band Strange Folk a little bit, and we played there. God, I can't remember what. That was a long time ago. So
it's a shame. It's one of the last few like real good venues in our area. It's the Jazz Cafe, and then there's a place called the V Spot, which is a great little venue, like a bar venue type of place in the Scranton area. But outside those 2 places, there's not really a lot of good rooms to play in.
The smaller 250. I know they say that in Boston too, that the 250 size rooms, 250 capacity, that they were kind of not really dying out a little bit, but and it comes around just when you think.
Yep.
Somebody, it's like it's amazing. Well, at least that's the way I think.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. It's it's interesting to see what happens, and times change, and obviously COVID didn't help.
No
venues like that exist, so it's tough, but we'll get through it. But
keep pushing away, no matter whatever, man. That's the whole idea.
Well, Russ,
that's my theory.
Yeah, I appreciate your time. I don't want to keep you. I know you're
that's fine, man.
a busy guy.
I'm hanging. If you want to talk, whatever. I'm just hanging out. I got a little electronic drum set right there that I'm gonna hit when we get done after a little while. That's my nighttime practice.
You're still gonna go at it tonight? It's almost
I try to get it. I try to get another hour. A lot of times I go 10:30, like say 10:30 to 11:30. Or if I get tired, like I taught today, so I was like, if I start getting a little loopy. But it's always like this one little thing, I try to, I used to just practice on my drum pad late, and then one of my students, he sold me this electronic drum set, so it sounds pretty good. It's not the real thing, but you get some work done.
How many hours a day do you practice?
Well, it depends. Like I try to get at least 3 hours. Like I'll do 2 in the day, and then I'll do this thing at night. Like today, I did like 4. I taught at the school for like 4 lessons, and come on, I cook dinner with my wife, whatever. We hang out for a couple hours, and then, like I say, she crashes out. She's got to get up to go to work in the morning, and then I'll hit it, play a little guitar or something too, and then as the day goes by, like getting ready for those shows, advancing stuff, and other gigs. People are coming and you're looking at the calendar, like, okay, that guy wants me for this, but I'm here. It's all balance. It's a balancing act,
You mentioned your wife a lot. How long have you guys been together for?
We will be married 40 years this September.
40 years. That's great.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's awesome. Amazing. Yeah, she's amazing. She, as my dad says, yeah, you're lucky.
Yeah.
You go away all the time.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, I think that's good, right? To a degree. I remember when
it is.
My wife was we've been together for 15, it'll be 15 years. No, it's been 15. Yeah, 50. It was 15 years this year. Married for, what year are we in? Eight of those 15.
Wonderful.
When she was first in her job, she was like had funny hours. So like there was times where she would like work a normal 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, but there was times where she would work 12 to 8, 12 to 9. But like, when she was doing that, like I would go out with friends, or I would just do stuff in the house. It was nice to have that time apart, because I feel like you need that to a degree.
Yes.
You have that what is that old saying? The absence makes the heart grow fonder, right? And I believe that. You have your own lives and your own, like, you have a chance to miss each other.
Yeah, it's true. And even like when our daughter was born, she was just building her career up as a city planner, and I was a musician, so I was home in the day with my daughter, unless I was touring or something. And we would meet at the door, and then, or I was rehearsing or bartending at night. We lived like that for a long time. So you got to be pretty independent too to have that. Or she really wanted to get a career off the ground and not just be home. So it was worked out great. But yeah, you need that time. Yeah, like I'll be riding around with the van with Ray for 2 days. I'm looking forward to doing that. He's a good friend, and it's like we like each other, and we just, the story. Oh, you told me that story already.
And make new stories.
Yeah, well, whatever. Did I tell you that story one time? But it's cool. You got to have that social thing. We're going, Newburyport. I know some people up there. It's close to Salem. A lot of people will show up that hopefully that know us. Matter of fact, that's my other thing I do tonight. Text my friends and tell them, I'll put them on a list.
Yeah.
But it works out. I feel very lucky. I can't believe it's been that long.
Yeah, well, 40 years. I mean, like in a day and age where half marriages fail. What's the secret, do you think?
Well, we just, obviously we still love each other a lot too,
Sure.
but it's like, a little bit of independence and just respect for each other. And like, it'd be really rough if somebody's like, enough of this music bullshit. It would be tough.
Yeah. Be the wrong person, probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, she has her stuff she likes to do, and we all we meet in the middle, really,
Yeah.
And like whatever, we make sure, like, or it's like if I'm away for like 2-3 days or for 3 weeks, when you come home and you had that first day together, that Sunday, it's like a celebration, it's cool, or even now, it's like this Sunday, I don't got nothing going on. Go home, try to get up from planes at a decent hour and get home,
Yep.
Instead of like rolling in at 8 o'clock at night hungover.
Yeah.
So you gotta be, that's like too, you gotta be cool. You can't be like a knucklehead,
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotta.
No, that's cool. I could tell, like, you love her very much. Just the references you've made several times, and it's it's important, making dinner together, and we do that at my house too. It's I have 2 kids, and we make sure we have dinner every night together. although my son, he's in coach pitch baseball now, and it's been a challenge. It's like 3 nights a week between practice and games, and I don't remember
Yeah.
being this busy when I was a little kid, as busy as he is.
Yeah. Some people get pretty busy. I know what you mean. I wasn't that busy, but like that. I mean, I did come home and play my drums every day from
Yeah.
school, but when I was home or whatever, nobody had to drive me around.
Yeah.
And I had a paper route for a long time, which I really liked. And
Yeah.
that was another independent thing. You just walk around singing songs, and then
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, that's important. That's important. We try to keep that going. My kid. I have a son who lives in San Francisco. My daughter lives up in Flagstaff. She's married now, so our kids are old. My kids are older. So
Yeah.
but and how old are you? How old are your kids?
My son's 5, and I have a daughter who will just be turning 10 months in a few days.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Good
So
Lord.
yeah, she's
Congratulations.
yeah, she's new, for
That's
sure.
great.
Wasn't planning to have such a large age gap between the two of them, but some things happen and out of your control. But it's actually, I think, better in that like our son is pretty independent as far as like, he can goes to the bathroom and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. He doesn't need us other than to drive him somewhere or get something from a high shelf. So it's like, it's easy to be able to take care of our daughter if she's like crying or whatever's going on. I can't imagine if I had 2 kids close together, both crying for an unknown reason.
Yeah,
What
a
do
friend of
what do you
mine,
do?
a friend of mine has that going on right now, and I see him. He comes to the gigs, and he's like, "Ooh, I'm aging by the day."
Yeah.
And they're like, I forget how many, maybe a couple of years between them.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah, no, yeah, I think Cap's a little bit better, but yeah, it's good. Congratulations, man. It's the
Yeah.
best thing.
Thank
I'll
you.
tell you. Get to be my age too. You hang out like how we were just with our daughter and our husband, and it's great. Everybody's settled in. Nobody's got the teenage thing going or whatever, and everybody just appreciates. I don't know what I'd do without my kids. And my
Yeah.
wife too, but it's
It's the
really,
best thing.
yeah, it really is. It really is, man. Wow.
What do they think about their dad being a rock star?
Oh, they like it. My son really, he's like, yeah, my dad's hustling again. And when I get these gigs, I go to. He lives in San Francisco. We play at, especially with Trey, we play at the Greek Theater for a couple of nights, or something. And it's like he really likes my daughter too. She plays. She's a good songwriter, but she's a little shy, so she doesn't do it as much. But they really like it too. Or like at first when they're 10, 11, like, then as they get older. Because matter of fact, she's going to have a baby in September, and she was bumming out because we're playing a festival with the Chili Peppers in September, and she can't come because that's the due date. And she's like,
no.
because I wanted this, that was her band growing up,
Will this be your first grandkid?
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very exciting for me because, you got kids too. You think about them on all ages. I love all the levels of age, but like I walked around from school for 9 years. We live in Salem. We only I could walk. That's what I love. That's probably the only thing I miss about living in Vermont is that I could walk downtown, go to the record store, and come back, pick her up at school. So sometimes it's like it's like it's 3 o'clock. I gotta go to get to pick her up and walk her home. Did a lot of talking and walking. It was great.
Yeah.
So to have a little one again it's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah. We gave my mother her first grandchild. And I didn't know if she was like would be excited for it or not, but yeah, she was totally into it.
Yeah, it is. I think the grandparent thing or the grandmother and grandfather word is a little bit like, what do you call it? But that's kind of, it conjures up. I think of my grandfather, it's different. It's a different era,
Yeah.
But yeah, it must be. Yeah, you love it. I mean, God, it's like it's your family and just the family tree. It's like amazing.
Yeah.
I think about all that stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like you were very involved too, which is like, there's so many kids who go on, with parents that are just busy and or maybe they're not around at all. Like, and I just know how important it is for me to, I have a great job where I don't, I don't miss my kids, baseball games or soccer games. And
Right.
in fact, I coach a lot of them. It's just so important to be, part of their lives and be supportive.
Yeah, because I know my daughter went to this little Montessori school, and I was always around. But see the dads that coming up, but they're busy or they can't even, because they're like got these intense jobs. I mean,
Yeah.
I would go away, but it wasn't like I've ever been on the road for like 2 years. I mean, or
Right.
whatever. But if you're doing that, maybe you could afford to fly everybody out all the time too. But
Yeah, sure.
whatever. But yeah, it's been a good balance. I look at in my life what I've done, and it's like a great balance.
Yeah.
Trying to do music, and yeah, but she likes it too. She likes the music, and
Yeah.
matter of fact, last time they came, they were here for a little bit, and like she loves that song, that Fish song. We do Carini. She's like, yeah, I wanted to hear Carini tonight. She got her favorite songs. Or the best thing is she's got an online job, so sometimes they can be here for like a month because they can work. So she's on the kitchen table, and I'm practicing for a tour. And goes, all right. She's naming all the songs that I practice because she knows the drum beats or something.
That's sweet.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. What did I play today? What did I mess up? Whatever.
Well, man, it sounds like you've done it all, man. Like, I mean, what a great life.
Yeah, I feel very lucky. I mean, you can beat yourself up and this and that, and there's always somebody better at doing more or this and that. But I can say that I feel pretty happy. I mean, whatever, I did it on my own terms or whatever, and still being creative,
Yeah.
And it could be it could be tough. Oh, nothing could have ever happened. What, I don't know, man. I just feel like I'm still at it. That's even the point, because I know musicians don't even play anymore.
Yeah.
And that's really sad, for whatever reasons. But there's other guys I know that are like top session guys in LA and this and that, and that's not always the, whatever you're doing it. I got tons of festivals with Trey, tons of gigs with Ray, and people call me for sessions, and it's like you're at it, playing music.
Well, that's sweet. I love the music, and I love the talking about the new project and talking about Trey. But I'm glad we spent the 10 more minutes talking about family and how important that's been for you. That means a lot to me, and I hope people hear this and if they didn't know before, obviously they kind of get an idea of who you are as behind the music. So I'm glad we did this. I'm glad we did that extra 10 minutes. I was going to wrap it up and give you some more practice time. I'm glad we.
No. But it's true. It's like it's that balance, man, and I was just out there. We were just out there for like 10 days, and it's like, all right, you hold it together, but you say goodbye.
Yeah.
It's like, here we go.
Yeah.
Whatever, it's working, man. But definitely. But thanks for having me, man. I know it was kind of trying to fit it in here.
No, I'm glad we did it. I mean, I didn't want to not do it. Just my kid, he should have had a game tonight. Oh, I'm sorry, practice tonight. It got canceled because of the weather, so it kind of made sense. He's got a game tomorrow, so I'm thrilled that we were able to do it, and I'm hoping that the Jazz Cafe on Saturday, May 6th, is packed.
Me too.
People dancing, elbows, asses rubbing together. Good times,
Yeah, let's see what happens, man. I hopefully too.
Well, best of luck with everything, man. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to a little.
My pleasure.
Little guy from northeastern Pennsylvania. Appreciate it.
Oh, man, my pleasure, man. And thank you. I appreciate it too.
Awesome.
Busy guy and trying to make it happen. Good luck.
I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for helping. So
yeah,
I think this will really help.
Thank you so much.
All right, man.
Best of luck. Take care.
Okay, bye. Bye.
We'll see you.